Allegedly, Zinchenko is on the verge of leaving Arsenal Football Club. There's a serious Sesko update. And apparently, Manchester United could be stealing another Hale or another academy product of Hale, which is up until, for, I believe, even they're even doing pre-academy stuff now. So from under 6, if you don't know, to under 16, that's where the stars of tomorrow typically come from before they go over to London Coley or whatever we call it now, people. I know a couple of players have been at other clubs, but before Bukayo Saka, Ethan, Lewis Skelly, the young Max Dolman, who is going to be doing his thing, and all of them academy players, Smith Rowe, Nelson, before they kicked the ball at the Emirates or whatever have you, they were learning in the academy, in it. So let's see what is concerning Arsenal Football Club. Now, for the last week or so, you've heard rumblings about Zinchenko leaving. Actually, a couple of left backs could be leaving, and one that I don't want to leave. I don't know where he is in Tomiyasu. The fact that Ben White's had surgery and he's back before you, maybe I'm reaching. No two situations are different, but are you not concerned, pardon me, about Tomiyasu? Because I'm sure I speak for every Arsenal fan and every YouTuber when I say smash the like button, but every Arsenal fan where obviously we want every player available, but there's been several times where you've gone, oh, Tommy could have came in there, pause, he could have been utilized there. But yeah, continuing, people, Zinchenko's been linked with numerous clubs. Seems like there's legs to the Borussia Dortmund thing as well. He's not playing a lot of football. I don't know where I stand on it, because I think we've got a small squad, and I do think on one hand I wouldn't sanction Zinchenko's exit, but at the same time, 28 years of age, 2 years left on his deal, way on the wage bill as well. I'm sure he earns not the most, and I'm never pocket watch the next man, but he earns a lot of money. He's clearly someone that needs to be moved on. Again, we've brought Calafiori. Timber can play over there. Benjamin White is coming back to fitness, so Timber is an option to not only be rested but move over there. Kivior, at least for what's now left of the season, is an option. You have Tierney at least to the end of the season, which probably the club would have wanted to move on from that. And even Lewis Skelly, it's bad news for you, Zinchenko. He was preferred against City, preferred against Liverpool. I think every Arsenal fan, even though he's young and will make mistakes, he just understands it a lot more than you, in my opinion, and he's got a lot more confidence. The one thing I would say to Zinchenko, I can criticize your the fact that you talk too much and spilling Arteta's secrets and stuff and whatnot, but you as an Arsenal fan, you've realized your dream of playing for the club. You did have a great first season on that left-hand side in that partnership with Martinelli, and I do think you're a model professional, but I can't say I'm going to miss you. For me, we shouldn't have made you a regular. You should have been what you are seeing at Arsenal right now and what you was at City. You come in, you maybe start against, respectfully, the Zagrebs, where you're not going to be you're not really going to be tested defensively. We know what Zinchenko does on the ball. Amazing, actually, technically proficient, football IQ, all of that. Defensively, liability. And when everyone's fit and we name our strongest side and we just pretend Zinchenko's left back, naturally, because we did see this, teams are going to target Zinchenko. That's where you're going to get change. He's not defensively minded, hasn't improved in that aspect. So yeah, and I think it's about the trade-off. I do think obviously he's a centre mid by trade. For the last number of years he's been playing fullback. If you look at all the people that play in that inverted role in the middle and final third and purely just passing and all of that stuff, he's probably the best. But they're all better than you defensively. And yeah, you're up there in an attacking sense, but Lewis Skelly's good on the ball. Timber over there is good on the ball, even though you want to see him at right back. Calafiori's got issues of his own, but I'd have him. Obviously, with us having a better midfield, there's less emphasis on the left back to create. Remember the first season, there was times Zinchenko was missing. We're saying we can't create because our left back wasn't there. So the trade-off, and even if you're better in the final third than them, they're all better than you defensively and a lot more switched on. So yeah, people, the Telegraph have come out and said he's expected to leave Arsenal in January with Dortmund ready to make a move. German club puts left back at top of the list after missing out on Chelsea's Vaiga, who is heading to Juventus on loan. So that could be something, I mean, surely Arsenal aren't going to let anybody leave with everything we face without bringing anybody in. Weird and stranger things have happened, but you never know. Allegedly, Zinchenko is expected to leave Arsenal before the January transfer window shuts. Borussia Dortmund are ready to make a move for the left back. They're quite turbulent off the field. They've sacked Nuri Sahin, but it's a top league in Germany. Dortmund, we all see the yellow wall and that. It's a great club to play for Zini, man. It is what it is. Chelsea obviously are doing what they're doing with Renato Vega. Zinchenko did start last night against Dynamo Zagreb, but he's fallen in the pecking order. Unfortunately, Lewis Skelly is injured at the moment. That might delay or put a halt to any potential exit for Zinchenko, people. Calafiori was on the bench. Sometimes we see Cala come back. and then he's injured again. I don't know, people. But it says here the belief is that Zinchenko will be allowed to leave before this month's transfer window closes. For someone that's a multiple Premier League winner, all that experience and stuff, the very fact that Lewis Skelly's ahead of you, trusted more by Arteta and the fans more than you, and we're trying to win titles, and you've got that pedigree, and we're happy to let you go. I think that says everything, man. Big up yourself. I do think we got well, for me with Zinchenko, I think we got what we paid for. In it, I don't think he was the best of players. I don't think he was the worst of players. If he does leave, assuming this is the last time he's played for Arsenal, 81 appearances. Apparently, he's a popular figure inside the dressing room and with staff. But we're not, while I want a close knit boys and everyone together and friends, we're not here to make friends. We're here to win stuff. And you're not a good option like that. So if you do depart, big up yourself. He's not the only left back that could be departing. Apparently, Tierney is reportedly closing in or close to an emotional return to Celtic. There's rumours that he'll sign a pre-contract agreement and head back there. And there's been some, respectfully to Celtic, there's been some alleged big clubs. I did cover Tierney earlier today, so check that out. But some big clubs are interested. You know, Juventus apparently were interested, Sevilla, and he's obviously played in Spain. Bayern Leverkusen, with what they're doing with Xabi Alonso, assuming he's there, could link up with Granit Xhaka. He's always linked with Aston Villa. I don't know if you could take stock in that, but you know, Celtic have done the business, sold him for 25 million. 170 appearances for you, and he's about to return home. So big up yourself, do your thing, man. Away from that, though, we're seeing all the Benjamin Sesko stuff, and we'll get onto that in just a second, people. But you know, you would have seen the ITKs, the journalist, the Sammy Motbell saying while it's difficult, we do have an interest in bringing him into the club. People, Ben Jacobs, again, not showing his credibility, has been speaking about such as well. Now, apparently, the managing director at Leipzig has said there's definitely no contact with any other club or any discussions regarding Sesko. We are very happy to have Benji in our squad. He's one of the top attacking talents in Europe and is currently in excellent form. He'll continue to wear the RB Leipzig jersey. So again, at least we can stop talking about this guy, in my opinion, and at least until the summer, really. Yesterday, Marco Reus did speak and say he will still be at the club. So you've got the manager and the technical director, managing director, whatever have you, saying the man isn't going to go anywhere. Stranger things, weirder things have happened in football, but it looked like an unlikely deal to be done anyways. This puts further salt on the wounds, people. If you're still optimistic, let me know. Some of you don't really rate Sesko. Let me know how you lot feel on Sesko. And if you needed another reason as to why you probably wouldn't get him, Leipzig probably have the replacement for the replacement for the replacement. As you know, they buy and sell players. But it looks like Andre Silva, FM Wonder Kid, really could be leaving Leipzig and going to West Ham. So they'd have to replace two players, essentially. So, yeah, and you got to remember the bodies and whatnot that you need in your squad. Apparently, Arsenal's chances of signing Sesko in January appear to be dwindling, with the German club taking a hardline stance on the deal. Despite signing a new contract this summer, the striker continues to be linked with a move to the Emirates after scoring in his side's Champions League win over Sporting. He has also been linked with Chelsea and Man United. He's understood to have an agreement with Leipzig. He'll be able to leave in the summer if a bid of 60 million or more is made. So make sure you go and find that. Apparently, Arsenal will now put their interest on hold until the summer. They're said to be respectful of Leipzig's position and know an aggressive pursuit in the next 11 days could affect their chances of negotiating with the club later down the line, which is true. But at the end of the day, if you've been laying the groundwork like we're in with Zubamendi and in Sesko's case, if you tried to buy him last summer, you didn't just identify him last summer. You've clearly been talking with his agents and whatever. Why do you put the bid down or something ridiculous like that 60 odd? They've got a decision to make. Yeah, they might say no and it might not happen. You go again in the summer, money talks. Like, again, I understand where Arsenal are coming from, but it does feel, and not even necessarily Arsenal, the language around our club is like, oh, we don't want to tread on anyone's toes and this, that, and the other. Chelsea burnt bridges when they bought Ashley Cole. If they had any bridges with Arsenal, Chelsea, who are still buying players off them to this day, really and truly. Arsenal and Man United, in my 29 years, were rivals. They still, on a, not so much, but on occasion have, dealt with each other. And they're stealing a couple of Hale lenders, people. So how far does that really go? But yeah, man, Sesko is another one that bites the dust. So how long until we see daily Dusan Vlahovic rumors resurface? Again, we've been warned we won't get him. It would be nice to have him. He's got 8 goals and 2 assists in 17 league appearances. 8 goals, though. Ain't Kai got like 7? I could be wrong. I'm being a bit silly, people, but you get where I'm going with that. Apparently, all the journalists are now coming out again. Ornstein, Sammy Motbell, Romano, they spoke about Zubamendi, and now all the other journalists are saying that offering their own two pence. James Bain just says Zubimendi is extremely likely. It's not done yet, which is the most important thing for me with that sentence. It's not done yet. But Mikel Arteta has been sort of messages have come from Arteta and the Arsenal side for a long time convincing Zubimendi it would take a remarkable turn of events for Zubimendi to not be in an Arsenal shirt at the start of next year. I'd be really surprised if that doesn't happen, and it's credit to Arteta and the recruitment team. I mean, big you lot up on that. Cunha, I mean, we're going to see him firsthand on the weekend where it's Arsenal versus Wolves. We will be doing a watch along. Kickoff is at 3 p.m. I'll be live on YouTube and Twitch from 2 p.m. Allegedly, Arsenal falling behind Nottingham Forest with talks accelerating over a sensational deal. Allegedly, Nottingham Forest are growing increasingly confident they'll be able to beat Arsenal in the race to sign Cunha, people. Big them up if they do that. He's been linked with Arsenal, Chelsea, Tottenham Hotspur, Man United, Newcastle, and obviously Forest. We've heard all the talk around the body language and his manager. Again, we know there's been a contract on the table. It seemed like he was going to sign that. He hasn't. He's been one that's been aggressively linked with us in this January market. So I am getting bored of covering him. Any thoughts that I haven't just said, check out the other videos, and I'm sure you lot have offered your opinions, man. How many pictures and all my YouTube thumbnails have you lot probably seen Mr. Cunha? Again, we know Zinchenko is gone, so we can get rid of that. Arsenal allegedly are admirers of Anthony Gordon, would love that to happen. Ornstein has said that, but again, whether you want to go for Gomares, Isaac, and Anthony Gordon, who signed a new deal, assuming Newcastle would be silly enough to sell one of those, it's big money. They came close to doing something on Anthony Gordon in the past. Again, I don't think he would be one they would like to lose, but I do hear clubs who have huge admiration for him, even Arsenal among them, like Anthony Gordon. I think Isaac would be the last resort. You have to remember, though, there's a bit of a contract situation there with him at Newcastle that doesn't appear to have moved forward. I mean, if you got Sesko, I mean, Bukayo Saka, Anthony Gordon, Isaac or Sesko or Cunha on the left instead of Gordon. I'm dreaming, people. You have to forgive me. Or John Duran. I do think to upgrade that front three, Saka's the only one you can't upgrade upon. Unless you're going to find someone that's got twice the ability of Saka and be prepared to put the money down, fair enough. But that's the least of our problems. You get where I'm going. You lot are sensible people. That's why you're rocking with me. Subscribe if you haven't. Earlier today, you would have seen allegedly Juventus have offered Chelsea the opportunity to sign Douglas Luiz. And actually, throughout the day, the rumours to Chelsea have got a lot stronger. He apparently is on the radar at City. He once was a City player. He's still linked with them. Apparently, he's on the radar of Arsenal. I don't believe that, really, if I'm honest with you. I wouldn't say midfield isn't a talking point at Arsenal, isn't a priority, but we need attackers. I don't see us doing that, but if it's alone, you never know. We have heard previously today that talks to sign Vlahovic broke down, people. Again, his contract is running out. Juventus are probably open to selling him. We need a striker. We was linked with Vlahovic before, and we've got no real way of seeing if this is true. Now, David Ornstein has said any reports linking Vlahovic with Arsenal are wide of the mark. So it's essentially David Ornstein's words against Steve K. And I use this website a lot to make content because obviously it gives talking points, but have they been right about anything? I don't know. Once again, Zubimendi seems to be being confirmed. Arsenal moved up to 7th place in the Doolittle Football Money League report with revenues of up to 716.5 million. So we're getting the money in, probably because we're back in the champs, people. Apparently, we're going on another warm weather break, people. Another training camp in Dubai. God knows, and to be honest, I don't want to know what you lot was doing in Dubai. But last year when you went to Dubai, the same players that were struggling to score could not stop scoring. So go and do that, people. So it is what it is, man. We'll have to see how that goes. But apparently, we're close to formalizing a warm weather training camp in Dubai, people, following our win against Zagreb. Mikel Arteta was in jokey mood when he was asked about that in his press conference. Aidan Heaven, who played in pre-season, been on the bench, people. Apparently, Manchester United have made contact. He'd be the third youngster after Obi Martin and Hubert, our ex-goalie, going over there. Apparently, Man United are leading the race to sign him. Frankfurt and Barca have made approaches. The Frankfurt CEO actually said he was in Germany. Arsenal have offered a new deal. He's not signing that. He's not. The offer's been on the table for a minute. I hope I'm wrong, but yeah, it is what it is. Willian apparently is in London, people, and there's interest from 3 clubs. Would you have Willian? Is he coming back to Arsenal? Is he going back to Chelsea? Is he going to Spurs and being like Mr. William Gallas? I don't know. Of course, I'm not having William, people. I'm not trying to pee anyone off. Apparently, we've suffered a massive blow in our pursuit of Vlahovic, with a report in the Italian media claiming that the Juventus striker has made up his mind on where he wants to be for the second half of the season, which I assume is still obviously at Juventus, people, which really, 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 It's the same names. If it's not Vlahovic, it's Sesko. Then it's Zubamendi for the summer. Then it's Cunha. We're not really linked with no new names like that. Apparently, James Bain just said no progress in Partey contract as it stands. Unlikely Arsenal offer him a new deal. Now, we don't know what to think because Arteta didn't give anything away on him and Jorginho. Jorginho actually spoke and said playing in Brazil could be an option in the future. Right now, he's just focusing on the next game. We have also heard rumours that there's a contract offer on the table for Partey, and some have said that with Jorginho. I reckon they're both gone, but we'll have to see, people. Again, we've gone over the Zubamendi stuff. Now, AFC Camden and ITK, I actually think he's been right about a lot of stuff. He said, I understand the powers that be at Arsenal ideally want a player sold before spending on a new signing in this window, a bit like the rhetoric that was coming out last summer, which I know as fans, we finished 2 points off City. We all can see the injuries and what we didn't do in the summer, what we need to do now. But clearly, we're still on this self-sustaining stuff. And I'm not against self-sustaining model, but it'd be nice if we just thought from a football perspective, really. And it's them kind of things there. I feel sorry for Arteta. I don't feel sorry for when, they're saying all this, then they're giving you a budget and you're doing things that we don't necessarily need. And this is what I mean, like, even if Arteta done it, like, we don't have any criticism of Arteta, or for some of you that want Arteta gone, how much success can the new manager really get? Prolonged success. We could have won a league title last season, regardless of the Cronkies, but prolonged success. Would they? I always say, do the Cronkies really want to win trophies? I don't think you can blame them for everything, but do they really want to win trophies? Or are they more happy to be in the Champions League, to be competitive, to keep bringing out merchandise and things? I don't think they'll powers that be. I actually think they might want to win a Premier League, but I don't think they're dying to end Arsenal's trophy, 20 plus year trophy out for that title and achieve something that hasn't been achieved and wasn't achieved when we was at Highbury, winning the Champions League. Which, make sure you're following me on TikTok, people. Deluded Gooner. I did a video speaking about 2006, man. We're still linked with Nico Williams. Again, I don't think anybody cares, but if you've been living under a rock, John Cross of the Daily Mirror said Arsenal also keen to strengthen their wide options, but that may have to wait until the summer. First choice winger target Nico Williams is not available in January and wants a pay deal in excess of 300,000 a week. I would have thought, if anything, it's easy. Maybe I'm naive. Surely it's easier to bring a winger in than a forward. I know you could look at Koulibaly, Osimhen, which they're doing other things with one leg out the door. You could even extend that to Vlahovic of their current clubs. But surely it's easier to get a winger, do your thing in the summer. You can't not get both, which is a reality of Arsenal. When we were fighting for top four with Spurs, we didn't sign anyone. What makes us necessary? I do think they want to sign someone, or I think Arteta would like to sign someone, but is it that deep? I don't know for them. All it takes is, Ethan's back, this one, that one. Big up Reece Nelson as well, by the way, because I see him in the training pictures for Fulham. He's also had an injury. We were vaguely linked with Wahi. Seems like he's going to Frankfurt, and they're already reinvesting the money that they've got from selling Marmoush, obviously. We were linked with Yaremi Hernandez, people of Deportivo. They rejected a bid allegedly from Chelsea Strasbourg. So that means you would have gone straight on loan. I guess you are under 21s international for Spain. You're playing in the second division. There's a lot of development. Chelsea probably looked at you as a moneymaker because you were hearing 10 to 15 million shouts on him. You also have heard that the sporting directors have told him, or Bet Sporting Deportivo La Coruña, as I think their whole name is, playing too much Pro Evo growing up, that for now it's best that you stay. And apparently they've convinced him. I don't know any of this. Anyone having Karim Adeyemi? I mean, even if we are, probably not, because Napoli and Dortmund apparently have had positive talks over a 50 million euro deal for Adeyemi, and negotiations allegedly will continue. Anyone having Garnacho? I'm joking, people. Chelsea are willing to pay 59 million for Garnacho. So what are they going to do with Pedro Neto and Mudryk and that? Now, Matthias Tell, he's linked with Chelsea 1 minute, then he's staying. Apparently, Tell could rethink. This is from Sky Germany. Matthias Tell could rethink his decision to stay at Bayern Munich before the end of the window after he had no minutes against Wolfsburg, and Feyenoord Marseille have inquired about a loan deal for Tell to replace Wahi. Meanwhile, Nkunku still wants to join Bayern, and his agent is not giving up on making a move happen. A move for Nkunku this month would only be possible if Tell left the club. Bayern are still hoping the latter would change his mind. So Bayern probably hoping because Chelsea been linked with Tell, probably hoping he goes so they can bring him in and maybe do something. You lot know me. I'm not just saying this. You lot can see the videos and whatnot. I was very hot on signing Tell when he was an under-17s player for the French national team. I'm having him. Even if you're getting him on loan, I'm having him. Long term, that man's a number 9. At the moment, I think he would play off the left for Arsenal, and you could play in those two positions. I'm having him. Let me know your thoughts. Maybe I'm just wassing it. And finally, once again, you know, Romano's spoken about that Hernandez youth and said he'll stay at Deportivo despite bids and several proposals, people. Apparently, the final proposal was 10 million euros and it wasn't accepted. So 10 million euros, that's about 8.75, 8.5 million quid. I don't know, people. I want to ask you, lot, though, are you hopeful we're going to get signings or sign anyone? Or do you think there's a reality nobody signed? Do you believe the rhetoric that it could be a case of one in, one out? I know they're not the same two positions, but Zinchenko leaving opens up the door. I don't know. Do you think we'll get a loan signing? End of the day, we made our bed in the summer, innit? And maybe I'm even lying with that, people. Are you not even hopeful on the Nico Williams and the Isaacs and the Seskos? Let me know in the comments and don't forget to subscribe, man.